Hello, welcome to today's SDGs Share and Learn class. My name is Ife Buchechku Francisca Ede, and today we'll be discussing SDG 2 and the rest of the targets under SDG 2. So in my last video, we started SDG 2, which is zero hunger, and we discussed the overview of the situation of hunger in Nigeria and beyond, as well as the first target under this SDG. So now we'll be discussing the rest of the target and its indicators. So starting with target 2.2, which says that by 2030, we'll end all forms of malnutrition, including achieving by 2025 the internationally agreed target on stunting and wasting in children under age 5, and also to address the nutritional needs of adolescent girls, pregnant, lactating women, and older persons. So one will ask, what is stunting? What is wasting in children? Stunting is the impaired growth or development that children experience, often as a result of inadequate or poor nutrition, repeated infections, or inadequate psychological stimulations. And oftentimes, children who experience stunting have height for age that is more than 2 standard deviations of below the World Health Organization child growth standard median. The summary of this whole English is that any child who is experiencing stunting is simply too short for their age. That is one of the signs you see and know that a child is experiencing stunting in them. It means you will see that the child is too short for their age. Now, what is wasting? Wasting is defined as low weight for height. It's often as a result of it often leads to weight loss, and usually occur when a child has not had adequate food quality or quantity, and or they had prolonged diseases and all that, right? So the way we say stunting, that the summary of stunting is that the child is too short for their age. So for wasting, it means that the child is too thin for their age. So they just have that tiny body maybe if there is heavy wind, it could blow them off, or they might be requiring heavy things on their body to stabilize. Just know that the child is going through wasting, so it's too thin for their age. So what do you now do? You just find a way to know what the problem is. Is there a nutrient they are lacking? All of this requires nutritional support to ensure that the children bounce back to the healthy state they are supposed to be in. Now, what is the indicator for this target? Is the prevalence of stunting among children under the age of 5. It is also the prevalence of malnutrition among children under age 5 by type, wasting, and overweight. It's also the prevalence of anemia in women aged 15 to 49 years by pregnancy status. Now you will say, what is anemia? Because we said that one of the indicators is prevalence of anemia in women aged 15 to 49. Anemia is a condition that is characterized by a reduced number of red blood cells or low hemoglobin level in the body. And this impairs the ability of the body to carry oxygen to body tissues. Plain English. Anemia simply means low hemoglobin level in the body. Now, what is hemoglobin? It is the protein found in red blood cells that carries oxygen from the lungs to all other organs in the body. So, you having anemia, that means you have shortage of hemoglobin, you have shortage of protein in your blood, in your red blood cells, and this can cause you tiredness, weakness, shortness of breath. These are some of the signs you will see, and you know that you are suffering from lack of hemoglobin in your body, or you're suffering from anemia. Now we go to target 2.3. By 2030, it intends to double the agricultural productivity and incomes of small-scale food producers, particularly women, indigenous people, family members, pastoralists, farmers, including through secure and equal access to land and other productive resources, inputs, knowledge, financial services, markets, and opportunities for value addition and non-farm employment. How do we measure the progress that we've made under this target? It is by the volume of production per labor unit by classes of farming, pastoral, forestry, enterprises size. It's also by the average income of small-scale food producers by sex and indigenous status. Now we go to target 2.4. By 2030, it plans to ensure that sustainable food production system is in place and implements resilient agricultural practices that increases productivity in productions, that help maintain ecosystem and strengthen capacity for adaptation to climate change, extreme weather, droughts, flooding, and other disasters, and to progressively also improve land and soil quality. Now, what measure do we take to know that we have progressed in terms of achieving this target? The proportion of agricultural area under productive and sustainable agriculture. Now, target 2.5 says that by 2020, we are to maintain the genetic diversity of seeds, cultivated plants, farmed and domesticated animals, and their related wild species, including soundly managed and diversified seed and plant banks at the national, regional, international levels, and promote access to fair and equitable sharing of benefits arising from utilization of these genetic resources and associated traditional knowledge as internationally agreed. Now, what is the indicator to tell us the level of achievement we've done in terms of achieving this target? It is a number of plants and animal genetic resources for food and agriculture secured in either medium or long-term conservation facilities. You can also look at the proportion of local and transboundary breeds classified as being at risk of extinction. Now, target 2.A says that we are going to increase investment, including thorough enhanced international cooperations in rural infrastructure, agricultural research and extension services, technology development, and plant and livestock, and gene banks in order to enhance agricultural productive capacity in developing countries, in particular least developed countries, and of course Nigeria should be among. So now, what is the indicators to know the progress we've made in achieving this? The agriculture orientation index for government expenditures on total official flows. Now, target 2B says we intend to correct and prevent trade restrictions and distortions in world agricultural markets, including through the parallel elimination of all forms of agricultural export subsidies and all export measures with equivalent effect in accordance with the mandate of the Doha Development Round. What is the indicator to measure this? The agricultural export subsidies that has been made. Now we go to the last target, which is target 2.C or target 2C, is to adopt measures to ensure the proper functioning of food commodity markets and their derivatives, and also to facilitate timely access to market information, including on food reserve, in order to help limit extreme food price volatility. Now, what is the way to measure the progress we've made? Is simply by the indicator of food price anomalies. Today we'll be ending here, and in my next class we'll be talking about causes of hunger, solutions to ending hunger, the effect of hunger, and every other conversation around hunger. So if you have a question, please drop it in the comment section, your contribution, your recommendations, and then see you in my next class. Until then, bye. Thank you.